Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The Australian Lucas Browne will be training in Thailand to prepare for stage 2 of his comeback after suffering a brutal knockout at the hands of Dillian Whyte earlier in 2018. Browne will be facing journeyman Junior Patti on November 24th on a card in Auckland, New Zealand for his second comeback fight, the first of which was a September win, a knockout win over Julius Long. Here's Browne on his preparations.
So people, Big Daddy Browne here. I'm in the sauna, sweating my ass off as you can tell. First week back, absolutely killing me, but I'm at a sensational weight. Where I started my camp last time I was 124 kilos, ended up being 116 at the weigh-in. I'm already 115 kilos to start the camp, so I've got 6 weeks. November 24 over in New Zealand against Junior Patti. So I'm excited about where I'm going to be, where it's going to actually end up, etc. I've got a few weeks here, and then I'm heading over to Thailand for 10 days as well. So that's going to be an absolutely sensational experience for me to get over there and do that and train hard, spar in all the humidity and stuff. So just a quick update on what's going on. November 24 over in New Zealand against Junior Patti is the next one. So sweating my ass off. Keep you updated.
First, I'll get to Browne's opponent, Junior Patti, who is 12 and 22, including 10 knockout losses. 10 knockout losses. He's been on the New Zealand scene for over a decade. He's faced a number of top pros, Daniel Tai. There's a few former Joseph Parker opponents in there as well on his record. Australian Solomon Homono has beaten him. Prospect Junior Fa has beaten him. And even fast trainer Doug Viney beat the 5'11 Patti back in 2005. There's a few reasons Browne would have taken this fight. The first being that he wants to get another tune-up fight in before the end of the year before making a run at a bigger fight, a much bigger fight in 2019, which I'll touch on soon. In terms of the opponent, Patti with a 17% knockout ratio shapes as a relatively low-risk opponent that Browne can come in, get a bit of work and likely come away with another win. In all probability, a knockout win. And Browne, he's been quoted by BoxingBroadcast.com as saying, "I don't want to be like Parker and have 2 huge losses with 2 big names in a row. I want to ease back into it. That's why I took the fight with Long. I'm preparing myself for bigger fights." And this was also a card that Browne will be appearing on November the 24th that originally Junior Fa was going to be on. But then he was sort of drafted into the Joseph Parker undercard in Christchurch on December the 15th. So Fa is now on that undercard. So bringing in Browne, it's a very good move for the promotion as a whole. Get a name on the card, someone who can help sell some tickets to the event. And while I'm sure it won't be a massive, massive payday, Browne wouldn't have accepted it if it was just complete peanuts. And I've been thinking about Browne's last performance. And that was a pay-per-view event that not many saw live against Julius Long. I didn't see it live. It was actually a few days after when the footage, full fight footage, ended up on YouTube. And many people, they might have seen the clip of Browne starching Julius Long, but they might not have seen what happened just before that, immediately before it. Long actually had Browne hurt. He caught Browne with an uppercut. And Browne, he was visibly hurt. He was trying to recover from advancing Long. He was backtracking. And it was actually while Browne was putting it on Long that Long was caught flush with a big right hand. And ultimately, Long was knocked out, completely stretched out into the ropes. So I got to say, Lucas Browne's chin, having seen that full fight and what happened, not just the knockout clip, but Browne being hurt, it does concern me. After seeing Long hurt him, and obviously Whyte's put him to sleep, he's been down before as well, I think Browne is certainly an accident waiting to happen. And it's going to happen again eventually. But Patti, he may not be the guy to exploit the chin. But Dave Allen, he might be the guy that could be able to get to him, and I'll come to that in a second. But for that Long fight, Browne came in 8 pounds lighter. He visibly looked in better condition than he did than the Whyte fight, where he was 264.5 pounds. Overall, he looked a bit lighter on his feet. But overall, after months and months of trying to transform himself, be fitter, stronger, faster, better, I still thought it was largely the same Lucas Browne that we saw back in March. I didn't think he was altogether different or markedly better. And being hurt by Long, that didn't flatter him. It is heavyweight boxing after all, and it must be said, he got a great knockout, and it's clear he still got power. And if he can land clean, he can hurt you. I mean, you could argue that Browne, he knows that he's still a work in progress in terms of his transformation. And I guess some of the evidence that does support that is he's continuing to come down in weight. And as he said earlier in that clip, he's entering training camp at 115 kilograms. So that's about 2 pounds lighter than he was for his last fight. So he's 11 pounds lighter than he was for the White fight as well. So 115 kilograms, it's about 253 pounds. And he is now approaching his career low weight of 250 pounds. And he's still got well over a month to prepare for his fight on November the 24th. And his career low weight, 250 pounds, that coincided with his career best performance against Ruslan Chagayev. And given Browne has looked a bit slow and ponderous on his feet in his past few fights, including, to be fair, in the Long fight too, he wasn't exactly Speedy Gonzalez in there. Some would say that he's been a bit slow and ponderous his entire career. He's got that power. That really is his sort of, ace in the hole. But weighing in a little bit lighter, that is potentially going to help him in some way. Although we do have to keep expectations in check. Browne coming down from 264 for White to maybe 245, 248, 250, whatever. He's still a 39-year-old fighter who mostly relies on his power. And seemingly he's got a suspect chin. Just got to bear that in mind. But should he get through the Putty fight unscathed, the UK looks like it's calling. It could be London calling. Browne and Dave Allen, they've been calling each other out on social media for months now. Both want to fight each other. And the back and forth, it's actually been incredibly respectful, especially compared to the acrimonious back and forth that Lucas Browne had with Dillian Whyte over a prolonged period, dating back, all the way back to early 2017, perhaps even a little before that. Allen, he does appear to be the #1 target, and in a response to the Doncaster De La Hoya, in which Allen was very respectful towards the Australian, Browne suggested that the pair fight on the undercard of Anthony Joshua's next fight in April at Wembley. And actually, it's not a bad idea. Dave Allen's proven to be quite the good sort of pay-per-view card filler for Eddie Hearn, and that sort of fight could well end up being a real brawl, a fan-friendly fight. And there could be the potential for Browne to again be sparked out on British soil. Allen proved that when he knocked out Nick Webb, he can bang. He's got some power. And Browne, he's a hittable target, so you never know. And conversely, Allen, he's a guy that's easy to find. So I'm sure Lucas Browne would be loading up on his right hand and be looking to be the first guy to really hurt the extremely durable Allen. Sure, Allen took some punishment by guys like Luis Ortiz and Tony Yoka, but he was largely able to sort of stay on his feet, withstand it. He just sort of took a battering. But Browne, he would be looking to try to knock Allen out. Can it happen? Well, I want to see the fight. I'd like to see them try. Each guy trying to knock the stuffing out of each other. It would be a fun fight for many reasons. And it doesn't necessarily as well have to be for Wembley. It doesn't need to be made for April. It could be made any time that first sort of 6 months of the year. I think there would be a bit of interest in that fight. It's, there's a few storylines there. Dave Allen, extremely popular fighter. He sort of had that sort of, unexpected highlight reel knockout over Nick Webb. Got a lot of support, and Browne, he also does have a decent fan base himself, and he's obviously looking to come back from a devastating loss, rebuild his career, and he wants that work against Allen. And Dave Allen has said on social media, I think me and Browne is a good undercard fight. It's a good fight for me at this stage. If you can't outbox and move for 10 or 12 rounds, eventually I will catch up with you and knock you out. And Browne's also said, 2019, my friend, let's get it done. To which Allen has said, ready when you are, mate. And making the fight in 2019 also becomes easier for Browne when he comes off his current promotional contract with Ricky Hatton at the start of the year. And obviously with Hatton, he's had a few, rocky moments with Hatton. If Browne is a free agent, it's certainly going to open him up for other opportunities that he may not have had, and Browne has openly said he wants to be fighting in the UK. And there's also the potential for other opportunities for Browne outside of Australia in 2019 if an Allen fight doesn't come off. Adam Kanelski has accepted Browne's challenge. He says he will face him if they can make that fight. Browne's been mentioning names like Marius Wok, Arnold Jeritjai, and the suggestion of an all-Australian affair with compatriot Alex Leapai, that's also been mooted as well. I'm sure with Browne being almost 40, he's going to want to get some of this work done pretty quickly, and he's going to want to get into fights that make sense financially. He says he's not rich from boxing, but he does want to support his family. Best of luck to him, and a couple of tune-ups like the Long and Putty fight. It is going to improve his stock to some degree, marginally, but it will set him up for something in 2019. Maybe the Allen fight, maybe something else. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.